Hi, my name is Peter Andrews and I'm a senior lecturer in digital and social media marketing. So I work with students and also organizations in sorting out their digital and social media marketing headaches, particularly in the area of strategy and generating big ideas for campaigns that really work. So I put together a short video session about concepts that count and models that matter. So I'm going to be exploring some of the models and concepts and tools which you're probably aware of in a video series. So for the first session, which I'm talking about here today, is about goal setting. The tool which I'm going to introduce to you is the 5S model. Now in true marketing fashion, those S's are going to stand for something. We are talking about goal setting, your objectives today in this short video. It's understanding that what are you trying to achieve with your digital or social media campaign or your strategy that you've been developing. You've got to have clear goals of understanding what you want to achieve. Otherwise, no goals, no great campaign. So the tool I'm introducing you to is called the 5S model. It's been around for some time and it's by Smith and Chaffee, and you'll be able to find this reference all over the internet and particularly on Smart Insights, which is one of Dave Chaffee's websites and some of his textbooks like digital marketing. Now, the 5S model has these 5 elements: sell, serve, speak, save, and sizzle. I'm going to go through each one of those, but these are top line objectives, the things that you want to achieve in your campaign. So let's start off with the first one, and that could be obviously sell. And for many campaigns, your objective is that you're going to have to sell something, that you want to achieve a sales number at the end of it. So that's an obvious objective that you would set. Now that can include things like online sales, or it could be through influencer channels, or it could be through aggregators. Wherever they are, it's understanding that you're going to set a sale target. So this could be typical objectives of, achieve 10% of your sales in a specific market or through an online channel, or increase your online sales by 20% in a year. So it's very much about having a measurement which is about sales. And as you plan your campaign, you'll be looking at what can you do? What can you do to actually drive sales through what you are developing? Now, in everything in digital marketing, we tend to work in funnel models, conversion models, and typically selling will come somewhere down the bottom of any conversion model that you look at. And at the top of it, it's about attracting your consumers or your customers, your target audience, and then working them through a funnel model to see if you can actually deliver this objective of sales. Now I've got an example here. So this is My Protein, and this is from an app. And you can see they've got a very clear message here. So it's targeted at students where they're offering them 40% discounts. That campaign is not trying to do anything else but drive sales. It's got a call to action, it's got a get it now button on it there. You can also see they do a similar thing here. So this is an email correspondence from My Protein, and the headline is up to 45% time to restock. A call to action, a very clear message. And you can see here on this email campaign, they've got 3 different levels of discount depending on how much you are spending. So they're trying to encourage you to spend more through this specific campaign. Likewise, their site is optimized, their paid for advertising is also optimized around this objective of selling. So I put into a search engine, Google in this case, protein powder, and on my search engine results page, that's the SERP, you can see that at the top here I've got a whole range of adverts, and My Protein is actually the top one here. Protein works in bulk and so on. So My Protein are obviously optimizing their advertising very well. They've probably got very high quality scores, and they're appearing at the top for those search terms that I put in. Now, on the right hand side, you can see the PLAs, or the product listing adverts. So those are the adverts that are going to take you direct into buy the product. And you can see again, it's very much about price and it's very much about feedback. They are optimizing for the sell objective. Now, the second S is about serve. And so here is where we're talking about adding value, isn't it? Why are we doing digital marketing or social media marketing? Well, it's looking at what extra value can we add to our target audience. And it's how do we deliver this? Well, it's adding extra benefits online, or maybe through informing our product development. But it's effectively encouraging dialogue and feedback and working with our customers or our consumers and giving them more than they could get if we weren't working with them in an online area. Typical objectives could be increasing interaction. So the time we see them spending on our site, are we serving them? Where are they going? Are they getting information from our website? So tracking them through that. Have we got stickiness so that they're coming back and they're spending more time in certain areas? Or perhaps it could be increasing the number of customers that are actively using our online services, maybe at least a month, and maybe we could set targets for that, say by 30%. A couple of examples for you here. So here's a Mega Market, premium dog foods, and they've got a really great chatbot on this website here, which is working you through some very simple artificial intelligence to ask you questions about your dog, the age of the dog, how active it is, the type of breed it is, so that it can recommend you a specific product that is going to work for your pet. Now, this is perfect in an online environment. It is serving and offering extra value to the target audience. And actually, I would encourage everybody, a simple chat box AI is very easy to do, very easy to access at no or very low cost as well. You don't need to be a programmer. There's some great platforms out there, and I genuinely would give it a go. For a lot of simple questions and simple decision-making trees like this, you don't need high-end artificial intelligence. Give it a go, and you'll find that you'll get some great results if you do something like this, because you're adding value to people. And in many cases, consumers just want quick answers. They want to know, what should I buy in confusing sectors, particularly in pet food where you've got so many options. So a great example of serving. And I've got another example here. I could put this in different places in the 5S model, but here I pulled out My Adidas, which is a really nice tool which Adidas has built to be able to offer personalized, customized kit specifically for teams. Got some very good social media behind this, a great way of connecting teams up together so that they can choose bespoke custom outfits online. It's all done online. You don't need to send in orders or anything like that. You click and you create the kit. You can even create trainers, and you can create football boots that will match with people in your team. So really nice way of building community. And they're able to do this because it's online. And it also has pretty low cost. The next of the 5S is speak. And here you can see that we're moving along with the great benefits of being online and being in digital and social media. This is all about us getting closer to our customers, closer to our target audience. And it's not like that traditional one way of we'll tell you what we'd like you to know. It's about creating an open dialogue and saying to consumers, you're part of our team, and that we're going to speak to you, and we're going to be running surveys, and we're going to be getting feedback. And your typical objectives here might be to grow email coverage of your current customer database, because email is a great way to keep in contact with them. Or maybe you want to be doing it through apps, chat apps, or perhaps through text messaging, or that you're going to survey 1,000 customers online each month, or increase visitors to a specific site section where you've got dialogue by 5%. So you can see we're trying to make those objectives smart, put some numbers on them as well. So here's a couple of examples of organizations that have really used this speak and making a difference in what they're doing in marketing. So here's McDonald's, and McDonald's is one of those brands, one of those organizations which we can all find issues with and throw stones at. But remember, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, and they do some great stuff within their campaign. So here's a tweet where they put, "You asked, we listened. Paper straws will be rolling out to UK restaurants from September." And that's because they're getting feedback from customers. They're communicating with them, and they're making a difference on their digital platforms to show how they're making a change. And here you go, you can see it. Are you still using plastic? We trialed them. And you can see the great coverage that they also got in news and on social media, that they are making a difference and they're making a change because they're speaking, creating dialogue with their customers. Now, this one here, I'm going to give you kind of two aspects of it. So it's again about speaking and the idea of surveys. By and large, consumers are over-surveyed. The research shows us that they are asked too many questions and they're getting pretty tired about it as well. Now, part of that is that it's not that they dislike questionnaires and they dislike questions, but they're being asked too often and inappropriate places. You know, quite often, I'm sure you've all been there where you've been on a site where you're buying something, you haven't even bought it yet, and they're asking you some feedback on your experience. Now, your experience is, well, I went onto a website and I clicked on this and it went in my basket and I paid it. What do you want me to tell you? I've had a great experience? No, I've just done what I expect to do. So be careful at how you ask questions, you know, the pop-up banners and things which can be annoying for customers. But I know they give us data, but when you are looking at cohorts of customers that are over-surveyed, be careful. So ask people at the right time. Ask people the right kind of questions and make sure that you're getting quality dialogue. Let them know why you're doing it. What's going to happen if they actually fill in the survey? What's the benefit for them for doing it? Don't over-survey people. So our next S is save. And so we talked about selling. Let's have a look at the other side as well, about saving costs. And I think particularly in very early days, as organizations have pivoted onto digital, they found they have higher costs, but then they can start focusing on that longer term of where can you actually save costs by doing this. Now, if you think about this, by moving a lot of your communications, a lot of your customer services online, you can make significant cost savings. And so it's obvious that you could say here that perhaps you want to generate more sales for the same communication budget because you're going to be more targeted, or you're going to reduce the cost of direct marketing because you're being more targeted and you're doing it through email or through digital technology rather than through traditional methods which you perhaps would have done in the past. And I've got a couple of examples here. One is FedEx. Now, FedEx estimate that they make a cost saving of between $2 and $5 for every complaint by doing customer service online rather than over the phone. Now, for a global organization, if you can shift your customer services to an online platform rather than having to speak to all of your customers, you can see tremendous cost savings. Tremendous cost savings for a big global organization. This will run into many, many millions of pounds over the years. So the question though is, you still have got to be able to answer consumers and satisfy them and give them options to contact you in the way that they want to. Now, you might say, I like calling companies. The majority of people don't, actually. The majority of people do not live each day to phone organizations and have conversations with them. They just want the answers to their questions and they want them quickly. If you can do that effectively online, I mentioned chatbots before, or it could be through email dialogue or live chat, then do it. But be aware, give customers options to contact you, but you can make significant savings in this area. Now, the other area I'm just going to touch on save, and it's really about shifting more of your media towards digital platforms. Now, typically in most countries now, over 50% of total advertising is spent online. So we're seeing that mass shift into digital. Now, I've just got an example here, and I apologize if anyone from the organization is looking at, because we don't just use one kind of communication, we use many. But this is for a property search site. So they make their money for people going online, searching for property, and they make an amount when property is searched for and sold and listing and so on. Many different ways they make their money. But here, posters like this can be effective at reach, so hitting a large number of consumers. But are they your target audience is the question. So whilst you're going to hit large numbers going past this each day, this can be wallpaper. But at the same time, the vast majority of people that see this poster are not your target audience. They are not people that you want to talk to. So whilst poster organizations, and I love outdoor advertising, so I'm not complaining about it, but the organizations selling you these kind of ambient media will talk to you about your reach, big numbers. They'll say, 40, 60% of your audience in the city will see this poster 50 times within a month, that type of kind of numbers which you get back. But then if 40% of your target audience sees this, you're paying also for 60% that you don't want to see it. And that's wastage. And this is one area that in digital, because of really great personalization and really well targeted advertising, targeted social media and promoted posts and even influencer marketing, you can cut down that wastage. And it means you can save on your marketing budget. Doesn't mean that you just stop doing everything offline, because it's all about mix and integrated marketing communications, but you can make cost savings. So the final element of this 5S model is Sizzle. Now, Sizzle is a really interesting word, particularly if English isn't your first language. Sizzle's the noise that food makes, particularly when it's cooking on barbecues. And so you get that idea that it's exciting. It's also used in entertainment. So they say, add sizzle to something. So it's making it more exciting and extending what you've got. And really, it is, I expect really that Sizzle's about the pinnacle of your objectives. It's like, what are we going to do that's going to create online added value that's going to be unique, that we can't do in an offline way? So it's extending that brand. It's doing new, exciting things. It's all about being audience-centric, understanding your target audience, and delivering unique propositions. It's about being innovative. It's about being exciting. These are the big ideas that we generate as digital marketeers. Now, this can be achieved in a number of ways, providing new propositions, new offers, experiences, brand building and communicating, particularly like with online tribes or communities. So we may have typical sentiment measurements here, sentiment metrics of how many people like our product, how many people have recommended it, how many people would be considering us or consideration for purchase. So these kind of objectives we're going to need to do through surveys. We can't do it through just looking at people's online behavior through clicks and so on. So it's about awareness, reach, brand favorability, and the kind of thing that people think and feel. So when you think about typical models, we always think about think, feel, and act. And we can measure a lot of those acts online, whether people are clicking, whether they're commenting, whether they're sharing, whether they're liking, and so on. And the think and the feel are very hard for us to do online. And so we need to do surveys, maybe even do consumer groups and so on to see how these measurements change over time. But they're vital. And there are lots of brands doing this, and I can pick hundreds of different case studies, and some that I've worked on and some that are award winners that you could share. But I've just picked out a couple here, and ASOS is a typical one, isn't it? The big move for fashion retailing online really being driven by organizations like ASOS, really sizzling and creating communities where people are sharing their ideas and thoughts and photos and influencers involved. And on all platforms, they're there. They're using every platform, whether it's Facebook, whether they're on TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter. They're using every platform they possibly can to connect communities, to share their thoughts, their ideas and their fashion. They're really making that brand sizzle, and it's working globally and for them. And another great example here is this is a campaign that's a few years ago now, but this is Pepsi Max, maximum taste, no sugar. And the big idea here, and this is what I mean with Sizzle, Sizzle's all about big ideas. Their big insight here is that they believe they've got a brand that tastes unbelievably good without the sugar. And so they have this campaign which is really about content marketing and recognizing to hit their target audience, that their audience loves content and that they're quite happy to watch branded content if it's really good and really targeted towards them. Have a look at some of the Pepsi Max unbelievable campaigns. They've stood the test of time. And for a brand that was spending a relatively small budget compared to its competitors, they managed to get reach, impact, and engagement and through content marketing. And we know other big brands have been doing this for a long time, like Red Bull and many other brands in many sectors. So there we go for Sizzle. Now, one thing I would say to you, if you're going to use the 5S model in any way at all, it's about goal setting and objectives. It should be customer consumer centric. So at the minute, you can see in this model here, which I've taken from Dave Chaffee's textbook, which is written with Chadwick, is I've got the 5S in the middle, but you should put the consumer in the middle there. It's all about understanding them. It's about knowing more about them than your competitors do and seeing how these things can work for you. The other thing I would add here, and it tends to be a way that this tool is used badly by a lot of people, is that there shouldn't be an expectation that one campaign or one plan or one strategy is going to do all of those 5. It would be really hard for you to do that, for you to be working on a campaign where all 5 work. So you need to choose the ones that are important to you, the ones that are important to you and also your target audience, and not try and shoehorn every element of the 5S model into a single campaign or a single strategy. And you'll find very few that are doing all of them, or are doing them all deliberately, or doing them all really well. Make sure that you focus, make sure that you really understand your audience and you really understand what objectives that you are trying to achieve. Poor objectives, poor campaign. Poor objectives, poor strategy. Those things are key. Great objectives, great understanding of consumers, big ideas that work, great strategy, and brilliant digital marketing and social media. I hope you found this video interesting. Please keep an eye out for other content from me, particularly in the area of digital marketing and social media. And if you've got any questions or any comments, please leave them below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you.